And again, Brady and Mathieu have an exchange.
Yeah, that's two competitors going at it, guys. Let's put that to bed. It is what it is, right? Like that's the Super Bowl. That's the Super Bowl.
So I am surprised that Tom got so heated and it escalated the way it did.
You know, listen, Tom Brady's a great quarterback. I never really saw that side of Tom Brady, to be honest. But whatever, no comment. It's over with. I'm done with it.
This last Super Bowl was one of the most anticipated matchups in NFL history when the Kansas City Chiefs traveled to Tampa Bay to attempt the first Super Bowl repeat since the 2003 to 2004 NFL season. However, it didn't take long to see that the greatest quarterback of all time in Tom Brady would again come out executing a flawless game, and the bloodthirsty defense that supported him would shut down the normally prolific Chiefs offense. In a game where Patrick Mahomes typically lights up the stage with big throws to the likes of Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman, Byron Pringle, and Travis Kelce, the entire world observed the Chiefs defense getting burnt by Tom Brady as he crafted his way to his 7th Super Bowl win, more than any other NFL player and NFL team. In the game where the Chiefs defense was attempting to play catch up through 4 quarters and failing miserably, Tom Brady did what he did best and got into the heads of the Chiefs secondary and seriously rattled defensive captain Tyrann Mathieu. Words were exchanged, and these words were heated, in-your-face types of trash talk that didn't usually take place on a stage as big as the Super Bowl. As Mathieu pointed and yelled, Brady gave chase and returned the words and proved in the end that his actions are indeed louder than words, with a 31-9 Tampa Bay Buccaneers victory. So what exactly was said between Tyrann Mathieu and Tom Brady, and were there any off-limits and or non-socially acceptable words exchanged between these two? What's going on, guys? Your boy Mike here, and welcome back to a very recent episode of our Trash Talk series. Before we get to the content, if you could do me a favor and sack the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Leaving a like on the content does wonders for me in the YouTube algorithm. It pushes this video to a wider NFL audience who will in turn see this video. Also, make sure you're following us on Twitter and Instagram so you can have an opportunity to get your takes featured on the content. And now that we got all of that out of the way, break! Mic check 1 2 1 2. Prior to Sunday's big game, Tom Brady knew that he had to shut down the Kansas City Chiefs defense, especially safety Tyrann Mathieu, who is known for a way to being in the perfect position to find the football and cause a turnover. Tyrann has taken the ball away from opposing defenses 7 times via interceptions. Mathieu is even familiar with intercepting Tom Brady. Mathieu had an interception in a Week 12 victory in Tampa Bay against Tom Brady. In fact, he's been getting on Brady's nerves for years, even before he was in a Kansas City Chiefs uniform. In saying that, there was no secret that Mathieu was on the forefront of Tom Brady's radar in the week leading up to the Super Bowl. Brady said of Mathieu,
"Really loved Tyrann as a player and, competed against him, saw him in college, loved his game, got drafted by the Cardinals, an incredible, talented player, great leader. And I think you definitely, as a quarterback, better be aware of where he's at, or else he'll change the game. And I really love him as a player. I think he's got great ball hawking ability. He seems like he's always comes up with the biggest plays in the biggest moments. He's got 7 interceptions this year, so you better believe I'll have an idea where he's at on every play, because I'm not going to let him just roam around and make a bunch of plays. I'm sure he'll make his fair share, but hopefully I can keep the ball out of his hands."
Steve Spagnuolo's plan would be to deploy Tyrann Mathieu all over the field on Sunday. After all, he has a history of covering all of the backfield. He is the only NFL player in 2018, 2019, and 2020 that is lined up for at least 300 snaps at both the safety position and the slot corner. To give you an idea of how versatile Tyrann Mathieu is, this season he is even lined up as a linebacker and a defensive end. The interception that Mathieu had against Tom Brady in the regular season matchup against Tampa Bay was a tipped pass, but Tyrann was clearly in the right position at the right time, and it probably would have been a pick even if it wasn't deflected. Brady went on about Mathieu saying,
is a student of the game. I could tell he watches a lot of film. He's in on the quarterback. He wants to know what that quarterback's doing. And there's a lot of versatility. He played corner in college, played safety, played nickel. So he can cover guys, can cover tight ends, can cover receivers, can blitz.
It was not a surprise that in the Super Bowl, at the 7-minute and 50-second mark in the second quarter, the ball, which was a pass via Tom Brady intended for receiver Mike Evans, was deflected, and again, ended up right in the hands of Tyrann Mathieu. It seemed to be the interception that the Chiefs needed to get the momentum rolling in their direction. However, Kansas City's Ward was flagged on that play for defensive holding against Evans, and instead of a turnover, it was a first down for the Bucs. Then a 3rd and 5 pass was incomplete by Brady. Tyrann was nearly there again. Brady headed to the sideline as the Bucs kicking team entered the field, but the Chiefs' Hamilton lined up in the neutral side and flags were once again thrown. For Kansas City fans, it brought back bad flashbacks, as in a 2018 playoff loss to the New England Patriots, a Dee Ford offsides penalty negated a Tom Brady tipped pass, and Brady came out on top of that game. Then, with a second chance he is notorious for taking advantage of, Tom Brady found Rob Gronkowski in the end zone for a touchdown, and Tampa Bay started to trot away from the Kansas City Chiefs at 14-3. Well before halftime, Tampa Bay had gained 4 first downs thanks to what some thought was the referee's unnecessary involvement, known as penalties against the Chiefs. It was the most penalties that was issued to an NFL team in the first half of any of the 269 regular season and playoff games for this 2021 season. As the clock ticked towards the half, the Chiefs were beating themselves as they had more penalties than points on the board. It would make any defensive captain boil over, and Tyrann Mathieu was clearly frustrated. With just 18 seconds remaining before halftime, Kansas City was given a 34-yard pass interference call. Then on the next play, the whistle blew again. This time, an interference call against Mathieu at the back of the end zone. The penalty gave the Buccaneers the ball at the Chiefs' 1-yard line. The 1-yard receiving touchdown was then easily caught by Antonio Brown, the man that Tyrann Mathieu was covering. At this point, the Honey Badger had officially blown a gasket, ran over to Tom Brady while the special teams units were coming out on the field, sharing words that will probably be heard after the mic'd up version of the Super Bowl comes out. At the same time, waving his finger in his face. In the zoomed in replays, lip readers translated his lips were saying to Mathieu, "I'm going at you all game." Mathieu was called for a misconduct penalty. Tom Brady didn't receive a penalty. After the game, Mathieu tweeted and quickly deleted, probably after PR told him that Tom Brady had a microphone on him the entire game. "He called me something I won't repeat. But yeah, I'll let all the media throw me under the bus, as if I did something or said something to him." With Mathieu receiving the flag and the backlash, and not Tom Brady not even being warned after he returned the chase, brings up a 2019 article in which Odell Beckham used Tom Brady as an example as what he believes is a racial double standard in the NFL. "Race plays into everything, whether we want to believe it or not," Beckham said in GQ magazine. "I remember posting a video of me and Tom Brady, and I hate to even bring him into this, but he's passionate, he cares. He wouldn't still be playing if he didn't care for the game the way that he did today. He throws a cup, he yells at referees, he yells at his coach. It's because he cares that badly. He wants to win that badly. Now, because he has won 6 Super Bowls, they validate him and say he's won 6 Super Bowls. I want to win the same way he wants to win, whether I hit a kicking net or whether I do whatever. I want to win that badly. I care about winning more than anything. There are 365 days in a year, and you're controlling my freedom. This is my joy. This is my time." Perhaps Tyrann Mathieu felt that Tom Brady and the rest of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got away with more on Sunday than his Chiefs did. Either way, someday, hopefully soon, the full exchange will come out, and everyone will be able to hear what was said on both sides of the ball. In the post-game press conference, as he is a veteran who is media savvy and has been given quite a bit of time to calm down, Mathieu ended the controversy quickly. However, he added a line that still left some people confused. Mathieu said,
Listen, Tom Brady's a great quarterback. I never really saw that side of Tom Brady, to be honest. But whatever, no comment. It's over with. I'm done with it.
It's an odd comment from Tyrann, as Tom Brady is notorious for getting fired up, but just like in the past, what he says and does rarely warrants a penalty. Mathieu learned the hard way. Getting into Tom Brady's face typically results in him playing better and winning championships. Mathieu is simply just another player frustrated with this fact. That is, unless another storyline emerges. Jenna Lane reported for ESPN on Monday afternoon that immediately following the Super Bowl, Tom Brady texted an apology to the Chiefs' safety. ESPN was read aloud the text, which ESPN paraphrased as Tom Brady apologizing to Mathieu for losing his composure in the heat of the moment and calling him the ultimate competitor, an incredible leader, a champion, and a class act, and wishing to apologize in person. Mathieu finished with 3 tackles and had an interception that didn't stand due to a penalty. Tom Brady was named Super Bowl MVP. Sometimes you have a bad day, and Mathieu and the rest of the Kansas City Chiefs had a really bad day. It just happened to be at the worst possible time on Super Bowl Sunday.
I'm gonna say this.
Yes.
I didn't like that Tyrann Mathieu put that out like that, the way he put it out, honestly, because I thought, come on now. You know, it makes it sound as if it makes people want to know what he said. We're curious, as if he said the N-word, and he did not. Tom did not. So, you know, I don't even like that even looming over this situation. So that's why I think we should clean that up somewhere, somehow.